Hi Shogi fans, welcome back. We talked about rapid games so many times, and Rook 38 variation also branches off from this basic position, and it's worth taking a moment to explore. This idea is simple. Black focuses on third file and goes for climbing silver. And as I mentioned, black plays Rook to 3-8. And white prepares for the impact by silver to 4-3, and pawn sack can be made. Pawn takes and silver comes out. Rook to 3-2 seems natural, but books say pawn to 4-5 is great, and black has to accept a bishop trade and knight takes, and black has two options. What about bishop drop to 8-8? A direct attack against the knight. And then white can take the silver simply. After the promotion, this backstabbing silver drop is strong. Now black's defense loses its balance already. And then bishop drop to 4-4 to remove the horse is a good idea. And horse takes, silver takes, and rook promotion. And this movement is so beautiful. I like this 4-piece minnow formation. It's basically asking black to trade rooks because next pawn promotion is great. Also, white is up material, so white is already better. Alright, all the way back to this position. Silver to 3-5 is obviously more natural, right? And then rook, knight to 2-5 is a good idea. And black has three options. One is rook to 2-8. Then rook to 3-2. Ignore the knight. If black takes the knight, then this light pawn push is cool. If rook takes it, then white can win the silver for free, right? So silver takes it, then rook promotion. Black can kick the dragon, but dragon to 3-4 is a great defensive and offensive move. Also, black can drop the pawn to 3-6. Then again, pawn push to 2-4 is possible. Black can drop the bishop. That's okay. That's part of white's plan, and he can drop back the bishop. Now this line is hard to defend. If rook runs, possibly white can trade the rook with the silver and drop it to 2-7. Now rook is dead. And what about silver takes it? Then white can take this pawn. This pawn drop doesn't work well because still white can drop the bishop. And this line is very annoying, right? Even if black takes the knight, white can still keep going like this. And then next bishop promotion or rook drop would be possible. Even if rook runs, it's okay because then white can save the rook, and next rook promotion is so strong. Okay, all the way back to this position. Bishop drop to 3-3 is next option for black. But this is not so good because simply white can play rook to 3-2, and if bishop promotes, then pawn drop, right? So actually this bishop is now pinned, so he has to drop a pawn. Then bishop drop to 4-2 is cool. If black accepts the trade, then gold takes it, creating a strong defense around these files. If black promotes the bishop now, then he can take the pawn. If silver takes, again, pawn drop will be possible. If black attacks the rook, then the silver goes back to the original position. Then black just lost a pawn, so it's obviously better for white, right? And pawn to 3-4 is the last option for black, and also books recommend this movement. And again, rook to 3-2 is natural, and black can drop bishop, for example, to 6-6, aiming for the next pawn promotion. It is scary, but go to 4-2 is a calm movement. Black would attack this knight, and then once again this pawn push. If silver takes it, instead of rook, the silver takes the pawn. If black kicks the silver, white can ignore the drop, and then bishop drop to 6-4 is a good counter drop. This line is always annoying for static rook side. If rook runs, then silver comes out. Silver trade is going to be in white's favor, and black will likely to take the knight instead. And instead of silver trade, white can play silver to 3-6 in order to trap the rook. And it doesn't have much squares to go to. If rook runs to 2-6, pawn drop will be fine. And then pawn push. And next, silver to 2-7 unpromoted will be great. Alright, all the way back to this position, and rook to 3-6 is possible. It's avoiding future threat of a pawn drop, right? But then this square is unprotected, so white can drop the bishop here. What about black plays rook to 2-6, creating the fork? That's okay. He can take the lance and drop the lance to 2-4. Silver takes, pawn takes, rook takes, and then this time white can offer rook trade. It is fine because white's defense is more solid. And in addition to that, white is up in material. Right here. And rook to 2-8 is the last possible option for black. And always remember this pawn push coming handy. It's going to be taken, but that's great, that's enough. This time black can drop the bishop to 3-3, aiming the next bishop promotion to 2-4. He tries to take the advantage of this loose pawn, but again bishop drop to 6-4 is great. If black tries to block the bishop like that, then white can take this bishop. This pawn promotion looks annoying, but that's okay because this movement is strong. And gold takes. If rook runs, then white can promote the bishop. And if white plays a defensive move here, he's going to lose control. And instead, this counter pawn drop is cool. If silver runs bishop drop right, the fork is strong. But even if black takes the gold, that's okay. White can take the silver, and this horse is going to be taken, but that's okay. White can take the gold and silver takes it. Now it's loose. So once again, bishop drop to 5-5 is a great drop. And look at material balance here. White has more resources, and the black's camp has a lot of weak points, right? Once white gains knight, he can drop it to 5-6 once the rook is removed. Also, he could drop something to 9-8, or he can simply attack the edge by pawn push. So white has more options. And all the way back to this position, black can also play rook to 2-6 in this position. And this time, white can play a defensive move, which is bishop to 2-4 to protect the pawn. If black promotes the bishop, then silver to 3-4 is fine. And black can actually invite this rook, taking this lance, aiming for this lance drop, and this bishop is cool. And horse to 4-5, and once black has a knight in hand, he can drop it to 7-4, right? And this is going to be a key square for this horse, so removing this pawn is a good idea, but that's okay. White's attack is going to be faster. Rook to 4-9. Black can trap the rook, but that's okay. White can trade the bishop with the silver, and he can save this rook. Now this dragon is threatening taking these lances. Also, when the time is right and white has more resources, pawn sack like knight drop to 8-6 will be also possible in the near future. Also, he can drop the pawn to 3-7, aiming for a promoted pawn attack. So white is gaining more control here. Alright, thank you so much for spending your time with me. We've gone through rapid games against fourth file rook together, and with this video your journey comes to a nice close. If you keep studying the whole series, you will eventually become a master rapid specialist. I hope it's been helpful. As always, thank you for your support and see you all next time. Bye.